We are celebrating our 600th episode, and we're doing 6 life-changing lessons from 6 years and 600 episodes. Now let's dive into the 600th episode of The Happy Hustle. Do you want blissful balance in your personal and professional life? Great. What's up, guys? My name is Cary Jack, and I want to help you happy hustle a life you love, one full of passion, purpose, and positive impact. I'm a lifestyle entrepreneur, a professional model / actor, a digital marketing specialist, a podcast host, author, a biohacker, an eco-warrior, a martial artist, a hippie cowboy, and a humanitarian. My goal is to educate, inspire, and entertain you to live a life of passion, purpose, and positive impact. It is time to happy hustle your dream reality. 6 years, 600 episodes, and 6 life-changing truths that you can use to put the happy in your hustle. These are lessons that I have learned over the last 6 years of hosting the Happy Hustle. And I gotta say, these are some damn good ones. So let's dive in. What's up, y'all? Cary Jack here, and I am a lifestyle entrepreneur and author. I can say USA Today best-selling author as we hit number 39 on the USA Today national bestseller list for our book, as well as the host of the Happy Hustle, top 0.5% global rating podcast. And we've been doing the podcast for over 6 years. And we're celebrating today with these 6 life-changing lessons. And also, I'm someone who really appreciates a great conversation. And I've had many over the past 6 years in the form of this podcast with just world-class, badass entrepreneurs, thought leaders, and just amazing humans. And so we spent some time distilling the best lessons, the life-changing truths, for this specific piece of content so that we can distill it all into a beautifully packaged gift for you. So thank you for watching and listening. Now let's get into these 6 life-changing lessons. Now, number 1, this is huge and kind of is like the whole happy hustle ethos, but balance beats burnout. That's lesson number 1. It's rooted in the definition of the happy hustle, which is the systematic harmonization of ambition and well-being. So again, being able to crush it personally and professionally is what the happy hustle is all about. In the past, as you potentially know, I've burnt out as a tech entrepreneur in New York City, grinding like a damn dog, and that was no fun. This sucked. Largely sent me on this journey to find a different alternative path to increasing my income and my impact and launching the happy hustle. And so the key insight is, high performing entrepreneurs who want to win long term and master harmony between ambition and lifestyle, not just hustle and grind. They need an operating system. They need a way to, put guardrails on their time so that they don't lose themselves to their work, to their goals. And so that's what I created for myself first with the S.O.U.L.M.A.P.P.I.N system. And then, again, fast forward, here we are sharing it with millions of people around the world. And yeah, it's kind of taken on a life of its own. A couple notable guests who really embody this balance mantra. One being Darren O'Lean. We had him on. He really emphasizes the point of holistic living and living in harmony. He is co-host with Zac Efron on that hit show on Netflix that goes around the world and showcases, really cool sustainable companies and causes. And then my buddy Ben Greenfield, he also embodies this well. I've had him on the podcast, all about optimizing your health, and really like somebody who's doing it at the highest level, but a man of God. He's crushing it in business, crushing it with his body, spiritually. So a couple examples there. And then with our own 10 alignments, the soul mapping, we've done many episodes on the soul mapping system. Soul mapping stands for, as a friendly reminder, selfless service, optimized health, unplugging digitally, loving relationships. That's the soul part. And then mindful spirituality, abundance financially, personal development, passionate hobbies, impactful work, and nature connection. So that's the mapping part. And again, this is your soul's map to the blissfully balanced promised land. That's the whole premise of the Happy Hustle. So those are, some key insights there from that life-changing lesson. And an actual takeaway for you could be to actually audit your week using the 10 alignments and then fix one imbalance immediately. So if you are curious, you can go to thehappyhustle.com/assessment. You can take the assessment completely free, and then it will tell you where you may be lacking right now based on the 10 alignments, and then where you need to prioritize change. So that's how you beat burnout and stay in that harmonious state, especially when you're out there after big goals, my friend. All right, lesson number 2. Relationships are the real ROI. Relationships are the real ROI. And from podcast interviews to masterminds to, in-person meetups, success is accelerated by who you surround yourself with. I can literally point to my network, and most of anything good that's happened to me outside of my personal family life, which probably applies towards my network as well, can be directly correlated with who is in my network, who is in support of my mission, who has made introductions, who has supported the goals, who has filled the gaps from where I'm at to where I want to be. It's all about the actual network. And I will literally say I have $1 billion network of people specifically who are aligned with me and my goals and the Happy Hustle and are in support of. And I'm equally in their corner, support of their goals. And I can think of even just someone like my buddy Garrett Gunderson, who's just an absolute stud, New York Times bestselling author, absolute just rock star, entrepreneur, husband, father, really cool person. He talks all about wealth and relationships, and he's been in my corner supporting me. I've been in his corner supporting him. We have this really unspoken bond as bros to support each other in the highest capacities. Another person, that I've had them on the podcast that I built a great relationship with and continue to deepen is with Bedros Keuilian. Had him on the podcast recently, and he's just a stud human and entrepreneur, and he's building strong businesses as well as I'm building strong connections with him. And he's a mentor for many people, and having him on the podcast has helped us build that bond. And right now he's coming on to speak as a guest guru in our Happy Hustle Club, and his time is very valuable, and he's doing us a solid. And it's like, it all sparks from the podcast and the relationships in that capacity. So having the platform to connect and, being able to interface with really inspiring people, huge perk of having a podcast. Highly recommend just double clicking on the relationships in your life that are of high value, that make you a better person. And that's the real ROI. So the big aha, money multiplies, but relationships compound exponentially. So think about, again, who you need to pour into in your current circle that maybe you've been letting slip that relationship a little bit. Actionable takeaway here: every week, intentionally connect with at least 10 people who uplift you. Send them a voice memo, set a lunch, record them a video, whatever. I do video messages typically daily to people I want to stay in contact with, and it's been a game changer for me. So I want to just share that with you. Relationships are the real ROI. That's lesson 2. Now, lesson number 3, baby. Here we go. Clarity creates confidence. Clarity creates confidence. That's lesson number 3. And this is actually one that kind of shocks me a little bit. Not enough people know their exact target. Like, what are they after? What are you really looking to build, both personally and professionally? There's a saying that you can't scale what you can't see clearly. I use the analogy like when it comes to bow hunting and archery. If you don't have a clear target, you're going to miss every damn time. But yet people are being more reactive and really not proactive with their goals. They like opportunities rise and they're like, yeah, that sounds good, let's go after that, rather than saying, actually, no, this is misaligned with my end result that I have predetermined is important to me. And that's the decision matrix that I like to operate from, that clarity. Once I have it, then I know, is this in alignment or this is in misalignment? And then I can say yes or no, depending. Someone who recently embodied this was Alex Ramosi. He did his, I got the book right here, actually. He did his $100 million money models, which is all about, how to make more money. And he did his launch, which he was clear on. He wanted to use this framework to create $100 million launch. And he did. He did like $105 million in 48 hours, broke the world record for fastest nonfiction books ever sold. And yeah, great example. Another one who helped me create clarity was Ryan Levesque. Having him on the podcast, awesome human, 7 times Inc. 5000 CEO, 2 times #1 bestseller, really cool dude, front row dad as well, and happy hustler, part of a community that I'm a part of, and just really good dude. We built an awesome relationship, and yeah, he's all about asking the right questions to get you that clarity. So a couple examples there. Actionable takeaway for you specifically is, what is your North Star, right? For the next 90 days, get really clear just on those next 90 and have that tie in to your long-term vision. So I like to start with the 10-year vision, then I'll reverse engineer to 5 years, 3 years, 1 year, and then 6 months, and then I can get into the 90 days. But have that all, build accordingly based on your long-term goal. And then goes for personally and professionally. And then cut out what doesn't align. You have to be able to say no. So that is very important. Have that clarity. It creates that confidence. 4 questions that have been instrumental on my journey for clarity. I feel called to say these right now from my friends, Brand Builders Group, specifically shout out to Rory and AJ Vaden, close friends of mine. And number 1, as a personal brand, you have to understand, what problem do you solve in one word? At the Happy Hustle, we solve the problem of imbalance. Number 2, who exactly do you solve that problem for? Like really getting clarity on psychographics and demographics, right? For us, it's high performing, badass, mission driven male entrepreneurs, largely, who are part of our highest level programs. And then number 3, what is your uniqueness in solving that problem, and how do you exploit it in the service of others? So again, what is your uniqueness? Ours oftentimes is humor, and we do a lot of jokes in the process, and then there's also something that we like to infuse with our 10 alignment system, that's all about in alignment or misalignment. So that's some of our uniqueness. And then number 4 is, what is your primary revenue stream in solving that problem? So, for us, we have the Happy Hustle Club, and now we're building our Happy Hustle SaaS, our software as a service. So think about, for you, that those 4 questions can really help create clarity. I just went on a little side quest there, but I felt it was relevant. So hope you enjoyed it. Okay. Number 4 lesson, which is presence is the power move. So presence is actually the power move. It's like the most powerful thing you can do is be fully present in the moment, both from, again, outdoor adventures. Like we do these Montana Mastermind epic camping adventures where we go in the backcountry wilderness for 5 days, completely device free, unplugged, with awesome entrepreneurs, and we're fully present. There's no distractions. We're in nature's glory, no screens, no service, and that presence creates so much power. And then also with interviews, when I'm doing podcast interviews with like badass guests, I don't have other stuff going on. I'm fully there in the moment. So entrepreneurs who thrive are the ones who can slow down to speed up, be fully locked in the moment, and be working, from that place of pure presence. As my mentor Dan Millman says, he wrote the Peaceful Warrior, the book that really largely changed my trajectory when I was an early teen. He talks about, there is no past, there is no future, there's only the internal presence. So yeah, shout out to him. What is up, fam? I want to share with you something that I'm super stoked about, and that is my Neurable AI headphones. These things are bad to the bone. Probably the best headphones I've ever owned. They have these EEG tracking brain sensors that help me boost performance and avoid burnout because they tell me when I need a brain break. They also have amazing sound. You can take calls, they have noise cancellation, all the things that headphones deliver. Neurable.ai and Master and Dynamic have created in these MW75 Neuros, and you get the hookup. That is the best part. You can go to Neurable.ai and use code HAPPY to save $100 off your pair. Badass Neurable.ai headphones. So check them out. One of the best things that I've ever done for my business is invest in my brand. Specifically, that means investing in my graphic design, my logo design, my company website, company swag. All things brand are imperative. Heck, you can catch me rocking something Happy Hustle branded pretty much every single day of the week. And I'm super excited about pairing up with my friends at 99 Designs by Vista because they can help you optimize your brand too. And right now they're running $25 off your first design contest if you go to 99designs.com/happy. But not only do you get $25 off, when you do that and you shoot over an email to my team, Cary at the Happy Hustle, you can be entered to win one of these amazing swag boxes, which will have a lot of fun and super cool swag from the Happy Hustle. And fun fact too, this swag box was designed and created by 99 Designs. This box is a great representation of my brand. So when you get a package from us, it comes in a Happy Hustle branded box with all different types of websites, custom quotes, shout outs for the podcast, 10 alignments lists. It has a personal message from myself on the inside of the box that shares a little bit about our mission. It also shares the definition of the Happy Hustle, aka the systematic harmonization of ambition and well-being, ensuring life balance without the burnout. So if you're interested in optimizing your brand, you got to check out 99designs.com/happy. Save yourself $25 on the design contest. Send over your email receipt to Cary at the Happy Hustle and be entered to win a new swag box. We're picking a winner every single week. So thank you, thank you, thank you. A little tie-in here, someone who on the podcast who's embodied this well is my friend Eric Hinman. He is very dialed in on his rituals and flow, and he's very present with those, making sure that he is doing all the things that he said he was going to do. He's also a massive fitness influencer, and he does a lot of content. So he's very present with this content too. The digital detox in the wilderness is a really great, embodiment of this concept. Presence is the power move. So again, highly recommend getting yourself in nature, being present, and actually just, spending time living in that moment more. Actionable takeaway here: start your day with the first 30 minutes completely phone free, device free, screen free, connecting to God and a higher power. And then the last 30 minutes as well, really locking in on what's important to you right before bed, recapping the day, getting clear on your goals for tomorrow. Presence first, performance second, really being in that moment. It can make a huge difference. So that is lesson number 4. All right. Lesson number 5, baby. This is a big one. Purpose fuels profits. Purpose fuels profits. So the biggest theme that I've seen across the 6 years of podcasting and connecting with the highest performers is when you align impact with income, the money flows more naturally. So when you have like a reason to do what you're doing beyond just monetarily, it's crazy, but you'll make a lot more money in the process. Like the value that you deliver to the marketplace when you have purpose tied to the profits is exponentially greater. An example here, you could think about, a couple people, but I think about my friend Danette May, who's been on the podcast. She was voted America's healthy lifestyle expert, best-selling author, huge brand. She had a vision to bring healthy living and healthy foods to the marketplace. And she recently just sold her company for the exact number that she manifested in her journal. Plus, or it was more than 8 figures, but the exact number that she wrote down. And it's crazy, but true. And it was all centered around how can she just help people eat healthier. That she had Earth Echo Foods with her husband, Craig Collins. Shout out to him. Really awesome dude. And, I think about someone like that who's doing it for the right reasons. She's spiritually aligned. She's emotionally sound. She is, again, mentally thinking about how I can support and serve others. And then it all comes together with, money as a byproduct of the purpose that is really fueling her. So yeah, think about that for you. What maybe it is your purpose. And if you're not clear about it, I highly recommend spending some time on that question. What really pisses you off can be a way to find it. What is a cause that you really believe in? And also leveraging ChatGPT, having them be, like a high performance coach. You can give them the prompt and then they can help you. AI can help you get to maybe what is the purpose that could be fueling you. Actionable takeaway here: write a 1-sentence purpose statement and put it somewhere where you'll see it daily, multiple times, and get clear on what that is for you. Okay. Lesson number 6. Here we go. Final lesson from the 6 years and 600 episodes. And obviously I could have done a lot more lessons, but I wanted to distill it. And that is consistency compounds into legacy. Again, consistency compounds into legacy. Hosting 600 episodes is the proof for me. Being consistent, doing 2 episodes every single week, dropping those on Tuesday and Friday, and not missing. That's huge. That's what it's about. So yeah, not just having one viral hit, but showing up weekly for 6 years, making sure that I do what I say I'm going to do. And I'm going to continue doing it till episode 1,000, and it compounds. And now my kids, my future daughter, who's currently sitting in my wife's stomach, she's due in February 2026, depending on when you're listening to this. Maybe, maybe she's already born. And then my son Kaizen, who's 2 years old at the time of this recording, like they can go back and hear their father and all these podcast episodes. And it's pretty cool. And just to think about this as a little legacy piece is something I'm proud of. It's built through those small, consistent deposits of value over time. That's the real aha. Every entrepreneur that I know who has had a quote unquote overnight success, it took them roughly 10 years, right? I think about people who I've interviewed who have really built something special. I remember she sold her salsa brand for like $325 million or something like that. But it took her 10 years of building it, to get that exit. I think about, people who I've had on the podcast, like Dan Martell. He was a stud in the software game, but really he didn't become very publicly known until he already had like 4 exits under his belt. And then he wrote the book Buy Back Your Time, and then he blew up because he hired Ed Milet as his coach largely, and Ed was giving him the playbook. And it's pretty cool to see these people, like do the thing consistently over time, which then eventually becomes their legacy and can really impact others. Actual takeaway here is pick one thing you'll do consistently for the next 12 months and stick to it. Podcast, email, YouTube, journaling, whatever it is, just commit. And one thing that's been helpful for me is having consequences. Like if I don't do what I say I'm going to do, typically I put a consequence around it. It could be something physical, it could be something financial, but really having a consequence for me creates that commitment and that consistency. So for you, pick something and go all freaking in. Just stay the course, my friend. So that's the recap there for those 6 lessons. Let me hit you with them again. So lesson number 1, balance beats burnout. Lesson number 2, relationships are the real ROI. Lesson number 3, clarity creates confidence. Lesson number 4, presence is the power move. Lesson number 5, purpose fuels profits. And lesson number 6, consistency compounds into legacy. Ooh, those are good ones. So hope that was valuable for you. Thank you so much for being a part of the Happy Hustle journey. Thank you for watching and listening to this. Here's to 6 more years. Here's to the next 600 episodes. And if you want to go deeper, check out the book, The Happy Hustle. Check out our website. It's all linked up. But again, regardless, thank you so damn much. I'm so grateful for you. Yeah, let's celebrate the journey. Here's to the next 6 years. Or however long we decide to do this damn thing, but I'm committed to at least 1,000 episodes. And I hope you find something to commit to as well. All right. I love you. I'm out. Peace and love, everybody.